The U.S. immigration system is facing intense scrutiny as the incoming Trump administration prepares to reinstate a divisive policy of detaining families with children in immigration facilities. This controversial move is being framed as part of a broader effort to crack down on undocumented immigrants. Tom Homan, a key architect of the previous administration's widely condemned family separation policy, has announced that parents, regardless of their children's U.S. citizenship, will face deportation. Families will be forced into an impossible decision: leave together or remain in the country, splitting parents from their American-born children. Homan, who played a pivotal role in implementing Trump's zero-tolerance policy that separated thousands of children from their parents, indicated that new facilities, tent-like detention centers, will house these families. Critics have compared such facilities to internment camps, drawing parallels to the forced incarceration of Japanese Americans during World War II, a dark chapter in U.S. history marked by widespread civil rights violations. These policies not only echo past injustices, but also raise questions about their impact on the well-being of children. The Biden administration had previously ended family detentions in 2021, citing the harmful effects of these practices. Yet, the Trump administration's revived policies aim to deport millions of undocumented immigrants, targeting individuals with criminal records. Homan has refused to specify deportation goals, citing a need for further data, but emphasized that arrests would involve law enforcement, not military personnel. The reinstatement of the Remain in Mexico policy is also on the horizon, compelling asylum seekers to wait outside the U.S. while their cases are processed. Meanwhile, Trump has reignited his campaign against birthright citizenship, aiming to overturn constitutional protections for children born in the U.S. Legal experts warn that such efforts are likely to face significant legal challenges due to the 14th Amendment, which guarantees citizenship to all born on U.S. soil. These aggressive immigration policies have been accompanied by inflammatory rhetoric. Both Trump and Homan have perpetuated harmful stereotypes about immigrants, claiming they are predominantly criminals, despite a lack of supporting data. Studies consistently show that violent crime rates are higher among native-born Americans than among immigrants. Trump's divisive approach extends beyond immigration. Recently, he criticized President Biden's decision to commute the death sentences of 37 federal inmates, accusing him of being lenient toward violent criminals. This move by Biden, aimed at addressing systemic injustices and racial disparities, drew praise from activists but harsh criticism from Trump, who has long been a vocal proponent of capital punishment. The contrast between Biden's efforts to reform the justice system and Trump's punitive policies highlights deep divisions in America's approach to governance and human rights. The policies and rhetoric being revived under the Trump administration paint a troubling picture for America's future. They raise critical questions about justice, humanity, and the nation's moral compass. At the heart of these decisions are real families, vulnerable individuals, and the children whose futures hang in the balance. The stakes could not be higher, and the need for accountability and compassion has never been more urgent. Trump's fixation on punitive measures and his history of using fear as a political tool are well documented. During his first term, he oversaw a dramatic increase in federal executions, ending a 17-year moratorium and carrying out more executions than the previous 10 administrations combined. Now, his hardline policies are being reignited, further polarizing an already divided nation. Homan's plans to escalate deportations and workplace raids signal a return to tactics that have drawn widespread condemnation from human rights organizations and advocates. Trump's disregard for evidence and history is also evident in his response to Biden's clemency for federal death row inmates. The president-elect's scathing remarks on social media targeting Biden for showing compassion reveal a deepening commitment to policies that dehumanize marginalized groups. Biden's decision to commute the sentences of 37 individuals, many of whom were victims of systemic racial bias, was celebrated by civil rights activists, including Martin Luther King III, as a step toward justice. However, Trump dismissed these actions as weakness, continuing to vilify individuals without acknowledging the systemic failures that led to their convictions. This pattern of dehumanization and distortion is not new for Trump. His refusal to acknowledge the innocence of the exonerated five, decades after their wrongful conviction in the Central Park jogger case, underscores his deep-seated biases. Despite DNA evidence proving their innocence, Trump has repeatedly doubled down on false claims about their guilt, a stance that mirrors his broader narrative of criminalizing minorities and immigrants. As Trump prepares to resume power, the consequences of these policies loom large, not just for immigrants and marginalized groups, but for the soul of the nation. The systematic dismantling of protections for vulnerable individuals threatens to erode the very principles America claims to stand for. With millions of lives at stake, the question remains, will the country prioritize justice, humanity, and compassion, or will it succumb to fear and division? The answer will define the nation's future and the legacy it leaves for generations to come. Now more than ever, the world is watching. The choices made in the coming months will resonate far beyond America's borders, shaping its global reputation as either a beacon of hope or a nation retreating into fear and exclusion. Policies like family detention, birthright citizenship revocation, and expanded deportations are not just political maneuvers. They are decisions with profound human consequences. The stories of families torn apart, children traumatized, and communities living in fear are a stark reminder of what is at stake. Yet amidst this turmoil, there remains hope. Advocates for justice, human rights organizations, and countless individuals continue to push back against these draconian measures, fighting for a vision of America that embraces diversity and upholds the dignity of all people. These voices, though often drowned out by political rhetoric, are crucial in holding leaders accountable and ensuring that compassion prevails over cruelty. As we navigate these challenging times, it's more important than ever to stay informed and engaged. The power to shape the future lies in our collective hands, through conversations, advocacy, and action. Let's continue to shine a light on these critical issues, amplify the voices of those impacted, and demand a system that reflects the values of justice and humanity. If you found this discussion valuable, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share it with others. Your support helps us bring these stories to the forefront and keep the conversation alive. Together, we can work toward a better, more equitable future. Stay tuned, stay informed, and stay brave.